If you hate Donald Trump, you probably won't want to spend 2 hours in his presence. If you love Donald Trump, you probably won't be interested in a Hollywood picture about his life. Which is my way of saying there is absolutely no market for this movie. No avenue for it to become a box office success, even at a modest budget of 16 million. But is it any good? On this channel, that's about the only thing we care about, and that's what we're here to discuss. The Apprentice, directed by Iranian Danish filmmaker Ali Abbasi, is described by the filmmakers as an exploration of the darker side of the American dream, told through the life of former United States President Donald Trump. Specifically, the movie focuses on a younger Trump, played by Sebastian, and how the mindset of the Donald Trump of today was molded through his relationship with ruthless lawyer and political fixer Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong. As a non-American, I can acknowledge that whatever is going on in America has an impact even outside of the States, but I'm far enough detached to be able to go into this film and simply assess it on its own terms. Sure, I can take into account the context of the real life story which this movie portrays, but I can do that without worrying about the future of my country for the entire time. Through this lens, I can easily say that The Apprentice is a solid film, but interestingly enough, it's a movie that doesn't succeed on its own terms, and I'll explain why. Though The Apprentice features numerous solid supporting roles from the likes of Maria Bakalova as Ivana Trump and Martin Donovan as Fred Trump, this film is definitively the story of Donald Trump and Roy Cohn, the story of a Dr. Frankenstein and his horrific creation. The former might just be the most photographed person alive in the past few years, and while Cohn is nowhere near as recognizable a name, he is quite a prominent historical figure, having previously been portrayed in shows such as X-Files and the Tony Award-winning play Angels in America. To place two horrific and incredibly recognizable real-life beings at the center of a film, you need the absolute best to do the roles the justice to carry an entire film from beginning to end. And Abbasi has found himself two incredible leads in Stan and Strong. Stan bears the most difficult burden in the film, portraying a guy we're all likely sick of hearing about, and delivering an effective enough performance that you won't mind spending 2 hours with a real life figure you despise. I had my own criticisms about Stan's Trump voice in the marketing, even when compared to the real life younger Trump, who sounded more like a generic New Yorker than the cartoon character of today, but he absolutely nails the cadence and rhythm, and even the mannerisms such as the puckered lips or whatever it is Trump does with his hands when gesturing. Throughout the film, Stan masterfully charts his character's development into the one we know today, gradually adopting more and more of his mannerisms. Though Stan was given the most difficult job in the movie, it's Jeremy Strong who delivers the most astonishing work in The Apprentice. Though his name in the credits might read Roy Cohn, Strong is essentially tasked with playing the devil himself, as the vicious lawyer is referred to multiple times throughout the film. In doing so, Strong completely destroys every vestige of soul in himself, draining his being of all heart in order to become an emotionless vessel which only exists to carry a desire for one thing: winning. Stylistically, The Apprentice is an immersive film. The movie begins in 1973, and you need not watch this movie in a 4D cinema to feel yourself enclosed in the time and place in which this movie takes place, utilizing vintage filming format and a 4:3 aspect ratio to give one the impression that this movie was indeed filmed over 5 decades ago. It lends the movie a valuable sense of authenticity, as if you are present alongside these characters, filming a documentary on Wall Street. That's without praising the incredible production design, especially the film's uncanny recreation of Trump Tower, a centerpiece of the film in a lot of ways. The cinematography is equally great, with DP Casper Tuxen consistently finding interesting ways to shoot scenes. There's a lot of moments where we're watching through their own reflection of a glass roof, for example, but the highlight of the film visually is a party scene in which Trump is surrounded by debauchery, where the lighting writing is used to create a feeling of purgatory. In a lesser filmmaker's hand, this could have simply come across as a moment where Trump becomes seduced by excess. But in the capable hands of a bossy and Tucson, the entire scene feels like Donald Trump's descent into hell. Throughout interviews and press releases, the people behind this film have essentially described it as this thoughtful portrayal of the dark side of the American dream and how people like Donald Trump are created. And on those terms, I think the movie has set itself up to fail for a lot of people. American exceptionalism as a concept is touched on, and it's fascinating how certain moments of the film lay the groundwork for the mindset of Trump, but it doesn't have anything particularly insightful to say about any of these concepts that hasn't already been said in movies such as The Wolf of Wall Street, which do an even better job of exploring the rot of capitalism and the need to succeed at any cost. I don't know if this is the right word to use, but for a lack of a better one, I think they humanize Trump a little too much. Which isn't to say there's anything inherently wrong with humanizing people who are capable of horrible things, but in doing so, the movie whitewashes its subject. A good example of this is in his portrayal of Fred Trump Jr., Donald's brother. The movie portrays Trump as having a pretty solid relationship with his brother and completely glosses over the fact that Donald and his own father would consistently bully Fred about his job as a pilot, which if you've read too much and not enough by Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece, you would know this was a significant part of their relationship. Sure, this movie dedicates one scene to Trump's father scolding his brother for his career path, but in this one scene, Donald is portrayed as being completely neutral to the argument, which is a strange choice. For narrative purposes, I think the movie tries to highlight the fact that Roy Cohn was the guy who robbed Trump of his humanity, but if you've read a lot about Trump, I certainly don't think it was the case. If you go into this movie in the hopes it will provide a groundbreaking level insight into the mind of Donald Trump and the world of capitalism, you'll probably leave disappointed. This movie works best as a portrayal of a 20th century Frankenstein whose creation grows to supersede him, brought to life by two tour de force performances, one of which most definitely deserves a supporting actor nomination at the Oscars, but most definitely won't receive one. And while the synth-heavy score feels pretty unmotivated and unfitting, the movie thrives on a technical standpoint, with great cinematography and production design transporting you into 1970s New York. And I'm giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for weekly TV and movie reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch The Apprentice, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.